sure to visit Eddie's Market on St. Paul Street, your place for the best deli sandwiches and platters in the Homewood area. You can order by phone or online at eddiesmarket.com. Open 7 days a week. The heart of
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Under Armour is proud to outfit Johns Hopkins Athletics in the world's most innovative footwear, uniform.
Homewood Field in Baltimore, Maryland is the site as the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays look to turn what was a historic 2018 season, take that momentum, and turn it into an even better 2019 season as they've started things 1-0 already this year and now will open up the home slate against Mary Washington here on Hop TV. I'm Connor Newcomb. Thank you so much for joining me here today at Homewood Field as the Hopkins Blue Jays, who come in at 1-0 with a 2-1 win over Washington and Lee on Friday, look to open up the home season here in Baltimore with a W over the Mary Washington Eagles. For the Eagles, their first game of the season, they will open up here at the number 5 ranked Hopkins Blue Jays. Of course, Hop coming off its best season in program history, a trip to the Final Four last year, and that earned them that number 5 ranking in the preseason poll this year as they return almost all of that starting lineup from last season, and it showed in the 2-1 win Friday against Washington and Lee. However, there were a couple of new faces who helped out with that victory, mainly Sadie Aboud, the freshman forward out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. She scored the game-winning goal with just 2 minutes remaining in that one, also assisted on the first Hopkins goal in the 2-1 win for the Jays on Friday on the road against Washington and Lee. So Hopkins starts its season off 1-0 and now tries to start 2-0 with a home victory today. Hop last season, they went 8-1 here at Homewood Field and looking to maybe make it a perfect season here at home this year as, again, they return most of last year's team as the 2019 home field hockey season is underway here at Homewood Field, and the home athletics season is underway here at Johns Hopkins University as most of the teams this weekend kicking it off on the road. But here are the Blue Jays field hockey team at Homewood Field to start the 2019 athletics season. Hopkins will start with the ball under head coach Jane Wells in her 3rd season. Hopkins now 34-8 under Coach Wells in the 2+ seasons, including the win on Friday against Washington and Lee. Of course, they just missed out on the NCAA tournament in her first year, but the Final Four last year in a 19-3 campaign. They went 9-1 in the Centennial Conference as well. Mary Washington Eagles with the ball here. It's Lexi Dixon, the senior, who will try and drive one towards goal. It's knocked away, and Hopkins will get it back. If you notice the differences on the timing here at Homewood Field, a change to the NCAA field hockey rules this season. Instead of the 2 35-minute halves, they have gone to instead 4 15-minute quarters. So a little bit different on the timing, just 60 minutes instead of 70 of game time, but there will be quarter breaks again in between the first and second and third and fourth quarters. So the timing of the game's a little bit different here in 2019, and Hopkins using all of the time they had on Friday with Sadie Aboud's goal with just 2 minutes remaining to take a defining 2-1 lead and win that one 2-1 to open up their season with a victory. Mary Washington in the gray today, Hopkins in the blue as the Eagles fight for position at midfield, and they come away with it here. Still 0-0 early in this one at Homewood Field. Hopkins and Mary Washington on Hop TV. For the Eagles, it's Sammy Ferris, a junior out of Falls Church, Virginia. You'll see a lot of these athletes on the Mary Washington team from their home state of Virginia. Mary Washington in Fredericksburg in the Capital Athletic Conference. And now Hopkins the other way. Abby Burke has it. Burke will drive one. It's deflected and knocked over top of the goal. And that's the goalkeeper in there, Jillian Lawrence, a sophomore for Mary Washington, who just deflects that one away. And Hopkins will get possession as they bring it back out top. Burke has it. She tries to feed it inside the circle. It's knocked away, and the Eagles will go the other way. Looking for numbers here. Up the sideline now. And here comes Mary Wash, but it goes out of bounds. Emma Claire Stewart tried to track that one down, a sophomore midfielder, and couldn't get to it. And it's back to Hopkins. Still 0-0 early in this first quarter at Homewood Field. Mary Washington, first game of their season. Hopkins game number 2 after a win on Friday. And now the Eagles will bring it back the other way. Here again is Stewart. She's down in the left corner, looking to make something work. Now Stewart feeds one back up top for Morgan McCartney. McCartney into the corner. Now she backs it out, and it's stolen away. Hopkins will drive one and try and go the other way. It's Katie Mackerleen. She has it taken off her stick, though. Maddie Brown-Shear now is trying to win possession back. Brown-Shear, the sophomore out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. And that one is flung across the end line, and it will go back to Hopkins. In that game on Friday, the two goal scorers, Megan Abate, the sophomore, and then Sadie Aboud, the freshman. Abate got one 39 minutes in, and then Washington Lee scored 20 seconds later to tie the game before Aboud, with just 2 minutes on the clock, won it for Hopkins. And now it is Hopkins with the ball here. And Sarah Mattias, the sophomore. She'll lift one towards midfield. And it'll be played with a high stick, and to Mary Washington it goes. Quick turnover here, goes to the back for Avery Seward. She gets one upfield, but the Blue Jays can't get to it. Back and forth possession here in midfield. One by Seema Sajin as she plays one up. And now Aboud racing towards it. Sadie Aboud, the freshman from Bethlehem. She got the goal, got the assist on Friday. Now heading towards the corner. She'll drive one towards the middle. It's deflected. Hopkins has it inside the circle. Now it pops back out for a backhanded shot. Tried to deflect it on goal there, but it goes wide. And Hopkins with a first real chance there. But that one went just wide off the stick of Izzy Thompson, who was the Hopkins leading goal scorer last season. Thompson, with 13 goals last year, set a Hopkins freshman record for scoring, now in her sophomore season out of Carrollton, Texas. Mary Wash the other way, but quickly stonewalled here. And up the sideline comes Seward. She'll have it knocked off her stick by Lexi Dixon and keep possession. Mary Washington last season, as they put up an 11-6 respectable record, but did not qualify for the NCAA tournament. Under head coach Jamie Tierney Harris, now in her second season. Here comes Izzy Thompson. She'll lay one off to the right side, and it's chased down over there by Izzy Scholes. Scholes plays it off a foot, and it goes back to Hopkins. In the corner now, it's loose on the end line, and it'll go out of play. Hopkins has had more possession in Mary Washington's half, and that will continue. Abby Burke will drive one in, deflected in front. Thompson going for a put-away goal there, but it goes just wide as Thompson couldn't get her stick on it. And the Eagles catch a break there. That one was just bouncing in front of the goal, but no one could quite get good contact on it for the Blue Jays. But now it's right back to Hop and Sophie Kim, who will play it to the sideline now. Katie Mackerleen has it. 2 shots now for Hopkins, but nothing on goal yet. Haven't quite tested Jillian Lawrence, the sophomore goalkeeper, for Mary Washington. And the whistle blows. It'll stay with Hopkins here. Seema Sajin now, number 4 in blue. She'll play it back across to Kim. Now it's run down there by Sadie Aboud. Here's Aboud up the goal line, and she has it knocked off her stick. And it'll again stay with Hopkins. Halfway through this first quarter, here's a drive, and that one just deflects wide of the goal. And again, Hopkins putting the pressure on, but not finding the back of the goal just yet. And they'll keep possession here. Abby Burke, the sophomore out of Louisville, will start it back up. Looking to anchor the top of that Hopkins offense. Eagles relieve the pressure a little bit here. Now they try to just get it across half field. But that pass is going to go wide. Lexi Dixon couldn't run it down. And Hopkins will restart with Seward. Avery Seward, a sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, has started both games so far on defense. Feed into the middle now. Backhanded shot. That one goes wide. And again, Hopkins putting on the pressure, but can't find the goal mouth just yet. 3 or 4 times now that Lawrence in goal has just watched one go wide. Smartly so, and gotten her team the possession back. Up the sideline now is Bella Urcia. Urcia for the Eagles, looking to get their first shot. Urcia will spin one around, and she loses possession. It's picked off by Sarah Mattias, the sophomore from New Jersey. Back comes Hop now. 3-on-4. Subbing in is Val Henderson on the left side. Couldn't get it to her, but Hopkins earns the restart. Henderson came into the game there unmarked. Here's Sajin. She'll drive one in with a backhand. And now she earns it back. Sajin out of Lansdale, Pennsylvania, a junior. She had 2 goals and 2 assists last season. Started 17 games, but she turns it over. A whiff on a pass there from Lexi Dixon. Pressure put on, and she'll drop it back to Ferris. Hopkins putting the pressure on. Burke will take it away and earn the restart. Burke quickly. She'll give it off to the right side. Abood will drive it inside. Shot is saved. A rebound opportunity. It's still loose. Here's Abood. Abood with a shot. And again, she can't find the back of the cage. Lots of pressure here from Hopkins. No goals quite yet. But you're seeing that Sadie Abood, the freshman, is going to be a force for the Blue Jays this season. Again, 1 goal, 1 assist for her on Friday. And she's been a part of a lot of the action so far today. Turnover right out top of the circle. And the whistle blows and possession back to Mary Washington. The Eagles just trying to relieve some pressure. And they might have a little bit of a break here. It's a 3-on-3 developing. Towards the end line, Hopkins double teams. Inside the circle, it's put in front and then swept away. Tessa Erickson, the freshman, looking to win it. Instead, it's Dixon for the Eagles. She'll get inside the circle, drive it towards the middle. It can't find a stick. And it goes all the way out off the corner pylon. So that was the first real pressure there for Mary Washington. A couple of waves of pressure there. As Hopkins will make a substitution. Michaela Corvey, the junior out of Newburyport, Massachusetts, will come in for the Blue Jays. 8 goals for her last season. 6 assists to go along with it. Big-time offensive contributor for Jane Wells' team. Erickson again applying the pressure. And the Blue Jays come away with it. Avery Seward will win the restart. And quickly turns it over, though. Urcia has it for Mary Washington. Plays it across for McCartney. Morgan McCartney, a junior out of Chesapeake, Virginia, will send it over to Dixon on the right side. Here's Lexi Dixon. She gets inside the circle, and it's taken away. Triple teamed by the Hopkins defense, and the Blue Jays come away with it. Val Henderson now. Maybe some numbers for Hopkins if Henderson can make a move up the left side. She has it poked off her stick, but it will stay with the girls in blue here. Henderson, a junior from Wallingsford, Pennsylvania. 1 goal for her last season, 2 assists in her sophomore year. It's now Corvey. And Corvey earns a restart. Michaela Corvey again. Whips her way into the circle. Nice move by Corvey. Corvey tries to pass it off. Deflected away initially. Now she has it back. And it will go to the Eagles. Fancy dribbling there from Michaela Corvey. She got inside but couldn't get a shot off. And her pass was deflected. That one's driven the length of the field and will go out. And it will be Hopkins' possession. Sarah Mattias was just kind of shielding in defense, trying to keep Stewart off the ball. She did a nice job there. And her pass finds the middle of the field. It's Corvey again. Corvey with a lot of options, but she whiffs on that one. And the high stick will give it back to Mary Wash. Now the Eagles the other way. 0-0, just a minute to play in the first quarter here from Homewood Field. Into the circle, deflected wide. Seward will run it down in the corner, but she couldn't quite get possession. And Mary Washington will get it with about 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. Again, the new rule in NCAA field hockey this year, instead of 2 35-minute halves, it's 4 15-minute quarters. So we run down to the end of the first one here. Inside the circle, played just wide. It was Lauren Hopkins in front, trying to get her stick on it for Mary Washington to deflect it on goal. But it goes wide to the Hopkins goalie, Jody Barris. And it will be Hopkins' possession, which is 15 seconds in the quarter. See if they try to make anything of the time.
10.
Driven out by the sideline, and that should take us to the end of the first quarter. Hopkins dominating the possession. 7 shots for the Blue Jays in the first quarter, but no goals to show for it as the Eagles at least survive an onslaught in the first quarter. And after one, it's 0-0 between Hopkins and Mary Washington. We'll be right back on Hop TV. Back for the start of the second quarter at Homewood Field in Baltimore. The 5th-ranked Johns Hopkins Blue Jays are tied at 0 with the Mary Washington Eagles here on Hop TV. Connor Newcomb with you as we bring you back for quarter number 2. Again, 4 15-minute quarters now in NCAA field hockey, a rule change for this season. As Hopkins coming in at 1-0 with a win, 2-1 over Washington and Lee on Friday. This is the season opener, though, for Mary Washington. And Hopkins really dominated that first quarter in the shots category. 7 for the Blue Jays and just 1 for the Eagles. However, no goals to show for it. And that's why we're still scoreless through one period at Homewood Field. Mary Washington will start with the possession in period number 2, and it's quickly turned over as Hopkins and Michaela Corvey will go the other way. Corvey had it taken off her stick. And now the Eagles have it. Up the field goes Jess Smith, the sophomore out of Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, a transfer from Susquehanna University. That's who Hopkins saw in their scrimmage a couple weeks ago here at Homewood Field. But Smith now with Mary Washington. Fed inside, takes a little deflection. Urcia trying to run it down. And she makes a little bit too much contact there. And it'll go back to Hopkins. 0-0 early in the second quarter. As Izzy Thompson tries to make a move. Thompson up the left side, cuts it back towards the middle and has it taken off her stick. But it's a whistle there against Jackie Smith, the junior defender. And a whistle blows, and again it'll stay with Hopkins. Up the field now. And it's cleared back up the sideline. Nice job to keep it in bounds there. Bella Urcia makes a cutback move to the middle. And now Mary Washington could have numbers. Here's Lauren Hopkins. Looking to score against her namesake today. It trickles inside. Urcia has it. Feeds to the left side. And a swing and a miss on the shot there from Izzy Scholes. She would have had a good opportunity but couldn't make contact. Hopkins gets a break there. And now maybe a 3-on-2 for Hop. Blue Jays coming the other way. Up into the circle. Here's a shot deflected on goal. Thompson tries to put it home and just couldn't make good contact. And again, another good chance for Hopkins. And the Blue Jays just couldn't put it away. The clear here is knocked down by Katie Mackerline, the senior out of Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. She'll steal it and go towards the circle. Mackerline will have a drive, but it's wide of everyone. Again, she took that one from outside the circle, which means it's got to take a deflection if it's going to count as a goal, and she tried to get that from Thompson, but it was well wide. Now 9 shots for Hopkins. 4 saves in goal for Jillian Lawrence, the sophomore, who played in only 1 game for Mary Washington last season. But she's the only goalkeeper on the roster this year, which means really by default she's the starter. And she made 3 saves all of last year, already has 4 in this game. Hopkins right back to the offensive attack here. It's Corvey inside the circle. Corvey with a shot, and it goes wide. Again, Thompson trying to deflect it, but couldn't get a stick on it. Making it an even 10 shots now for the Blue Jays. But still no goals for Hopkins. Abby Burke corralling that one. Now she'll try to create. Burke plays one inside. Now it's Corvey. Corvey shoots. It's deflected in, and Hopkins has the lead. Michaela Corvey with a wicked shot. It took a deflection up into the top corner of the goal, and it looks like Izzy Thompson may have been the last to touch it. Either way, it's a 1-0 Hopkins lead, and it was. Izzy Thompson in front gets the deflection off the shot from Michaela Corvey. And the Blue Jays have their first goal at Homewood Field this season. On the 11th shot, finally, one finds the back of the cage for Hopkins, and it's 1-0. And now the Blue Jays have it right back, looking for 2. Here comes Corvey, and she has it taken away. Now it's fed up the field. Mary Washington has a shot here. Jess Smith getting inside. Smith, and a nice poke away there in goal from Jody Barris. But it's still loose. It trickles in front, and Barris kicks one away. And now we're going to get the whistle to blow. Nice job there by the senior Jody Barris out of Westport, Connecticut. 3rd year really as the starter for Hopkins. And she makes a nice play on that breakaway, denying Jess Smith of her first goal of the season. But it will be a corner for Mary Washington, the first of the day. And with the new rules, the clock will stop on the penalty corners.
Johns Hopkins goal scored by number 10, Izzy Thompson, assisted by number 13, Michaela Corvey, time the goal 11-14.
It's played in front here. Shot. It's saved again by Barris. But one more chance here, flipped inside, and Barris makes another save, denying Jackie Smith. And Hopkins holds that one off. Officially, the goal does go to Izzy Thompson. She gets her first of the season, 14th of her career, and the assist goes to Corvey. As now Lauren Hopkins has it in front. There's a fight for it just to the right of the goal mouth. And finally, play is stopped. Corvey gets her first assist of the year and her 7th assist in a Hopkins uniform. She had 6 of them last season. And, of course, goal number 1 of what Coach Jane Wells hopes is many again this year for Izzy Thompson, who led the team with 13 goals last year as a freshman. And now it's Thompson again, looking to make it 2. She'll bring it up the left sideline and feed one down the sideline here. A lot of room to work here for Hopkins. Sienna Urbanski, another freshman, loses it out of bounds. And it's back to Jackie Smith and the Eagles. Deflected pass up the field for the senior Lauren Hopkins. And she has it stolen. Mackerleen all over the field again. Here's Katie Mackerleen, the senior. She'll cut it inside. Mackerleen just outside the circle. She's double teamed. Tries to split that double team. And she does so successfully. And that's going to turn into a corner for Hopkins. So the first penalty corner of the day for the Blue Jays comes with 9 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half, as Hopkins will try and double this 1-0 lead. The sophomore Abby Burke will take it here for the Blue Jays. Corvey set up in a good spot here, as is Mackerleen and Brown Shear. Burke will play it in. It'll go towards Mackerleen. She'll send it over to Corvey. Corvey rips one. It takes a deflection in front. It's loose. Thompson tries for it. Now Brown Shear has a shot. She gets it over to Abu, deflected wide. Another shot from Thompson, and it's kicked away by Jillian Lawrence. Hopkins still applying the pressure, though. Up the goal line here, and another corner coming for Hopkins. A flurry of shots there, now 13 on the day for the Blue Jays, and they'll get another corner. Burke, the sophomore, will take it again. She had 8 goals and 6 assists last year. Second team All-Centennial Conference performer for her as a freshman. Again, Mackerleen and Brown Shear set up nicely for this one. Corvey on the left side as well. Burke will play it to Corvey. Corvey will swing it to Mackerleen. Mackerleen has a bouncing shot, but she rips it wide. And it will go back to the Eagles. She was looking to find Burke, who was trying to just sneak her way back out in front of goal after taking that corner. But she couldn't get a stick on it either. 1-0 Hopkins on the deflection goal from Izzy Thompson here in the second quarter. And it's been a lot of defending so far from the Mary Washington Eagles in this one. At this point, they're lucky to be down just 1-0 with 15 Hopkins shots. And here they go again. Danica Berman with it. She'll play it into the middle. Now it's loose in front. Tompkins swings one across goal. And now it's Abood. She'll play one in front, and it's deflected across the goal line. Izzy Thompson again had a nice chance there, but instead tried to pass it off to Sadie Abood. And Hopkins will lose possession here. Megan Abate checks in with a substitution. Now it's up the left sideline. That is Abate, and she loses possession. Seward back into the game. She's got it back on defense, and she'll look to find Abate. But the referee's going to say it's going to stay with Hopkins here. Abate with a quick restart, and now it will deflect the other way. Again, most of the possession early in this one to Johns Hopkins. Now a turnover. Mackerline, Katie Mackerline, she's got space. She'll try and feed one towards the front of the goal, and it just goes wide. Hopkins was looking for more right there. She was looking for Sienna Urbanski, the freshman. Here is Lauren Hopkins for the Eagles up the left sideline. Seema Sujin putting some good defense on her. Now it's flipped up into the air, and Hopkins will take it back. Drive towards the circle, and Jody Barris will watch it go wide of the goal. These two teams, Hopkins and Mary Washington, 20th meeting between the two. And Mary Washington leading the all-time series. They've taken 12 of the previous 19 games. They last met September 2nd of 2018, almost exactly 1 year ago today, down in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and it was a Hopkins 3-1 win in that one. Izzy Thompson got her first of many goals on the season. Hopkins will drive one in, and Barris kicks it away. Now it's fed in front again for Lauren Hopkins. She had it taken off her stick, and it will go back to the Blue Jays. In that game last September, Izzy Thompson got a very early goal, just 3 minutes into it. Then Sarah Mattias added one at the 18-minute mark. Megan Opel got one more late in the game. The only goal for Mary Washington came from Morgan McCartney, who had 3 goals last season. Number 10 out there for the Eagles. It came about 12 minutes in that tied it at 1. This one floats in towards the circle. And Megan Abate has it for Hopkins, but she has it taken off her stick. So Hop won the away matchup out of conference early in the season last year. Looking to take it at home this year, as there was a lot of contact right there. Hopkins will restart it. It's Bryn Rowland, the sophomore. She'll feed in front, and the whistle blows in favor of the Jays. It's Sujin now. Tries to whip one towards the top of the circle. Hop comes away with it. Slings it inside, looking for a deflection. Hopkins couldn't get a piece, but it's a penalty corner. That was in a dangerous spot right there, as Hopkins was looking for the goal. It was Christina Glazer, the senior in front, who has just the one career goal. She almost had number 2 right there if she could have gotten any of the stick on it. Instead, she came up empty. Sujin will take the corner now for Hopkins. Under 4 minutes to play in the first half. Corvey set up nicely, as is Rowland. Out top for Hopkins. She feeds it to Abate. Abate will send it over to Corvey. Corvey gets tripped up. No whistle, and now the whistle blows. And another corner for Hopkins, which again stops the clock. 3:36 to play in the half. And a little confusion now, but it will be Sujin who will take it again. Abate will switch over to the left side. Corvey will play atop the circle alongside Bryn Rowland. It's played to Abate, near side this time. Abate looks to cut back towards the middle, and a third consecutive penalty corner. That one hit off the leg of the junior Sammy Ferris for Mary Washington. And again, the clock stops with 3:29. 4 corners now for Johns Hopkins. Sujin will play in again. She whips one towards Corvey. Corvey has a shot, looking for a deflection on the right side, but nobody could get the stick there. Again, it was Glazer in the area, the senior from Charlotte, but she couldn't deflect it in, and it remains just 1-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. That goal came early in this second quarter. A shot from Michaela Corvey was deflected into the top part of the goal by Izzy Thompson. That's where we stand, 1-0 Hop. Good space inside for Abate. Abate has it again, and the whistle blows, and she didn't make contact with the ball at first, just with the shin guard of one of the Eagles' defenders. And it's back to Mary Washington. They get a break there. Played up for Sydney Keating, the sophomore. She loses it, though, and Hopkins has it back. Myra Granado has it now, and she lost possession, the sophomore from Philly. Now it's Glazer who will take a lot of body contact there from Keating. And Sudgeon will restart quickly. Corvey goes inside. Corvey through two defenders. Corvey now takes a shot, and it's saved away. Still loose in front, though. Hopkins battling for it, and it's kicked out there by the goalkeeper, Lawrence. Couple more saves for Jillian Lawrence as she continues to keep Mary Washington in this game. She's got 8 saves so far. And Seema Sudgeon has it taken off her stick. The Eagles right now just need to relieve a little bit of pressure and try and get this thing across midfield. They had a couple of chances right at the beginning of the second quarter and right at the end of the first quarter. That's been about it. Megan Abate takes one off the stick. There's a fight for possession, and Mary Wash wins it. See if the Eagles can break here. A little bit of space for Lexi Dixon, but Sudgeon right there as she always is. Drive up the field, and it was a tough one to handle over there. And now it's Corvey.
1 minute play in the second period.
Less than a minute to go in the first half. 1-0 Hopkins on the Izzy Thompson goal. But now they strive for 2. It's rolling up the field. Nice little give and go here. Played in front for Abate. Abate looking for the backhand. Goes to the goal line, has it knocked away. And with 30 seconds, it'll stay with Hopkins. See what Michaela Corvey can do with this. Now 25 seconds on the clock. Corvey inside the circle. Corvey will have a shot. It's on the ground. It's now kicked at by Lawrence, and it will go the way of the Eagles. Another save for the sophomore Jillian Lawrence, and that should take us to the end of the first half, as the Eagles will try and drive one away from goal. Hopkins with one more chance. It's inside the circle. Here's Abate. She couldn't get to it, and the clock hits 0 as Lawrence again comes up huge for the Eagles. We've got a whistle here, a little bit of confusion. But that will take us to the half. Hopkins gets the 1 goal early in the second quarter. A shot from Michaela Corvey was deflected in by Izzy Thompson, as Thompson gets her first of the season. And as we hit halftime, it's Hopkins 1 and Mary Washington nothing. We'll be back for the second half shortly on Hop TV. Welcome back into Homewood Field as we get you set for the second half of action here between the 5th-ranked Johns Hopkins Blue Jays and the Mary Washington Eagles. Connor Newcomb with you, bringing you the action here on Hop TV. Hopkins with a 1-0 lead as we get set to go in the second half. The goal coming in the second quarter from the sophomore Izzy Thompson. She got her first of the season on a deflection from the junior Michaela Corvey, who picks up her first assist of the year. Hopkins in the blue, Mary Washington in the gray, as Hop will start with it in this third quarter, looking to begin their season at 2-0 after a 2-1 victory on the road against Washington and Lee on Friday. A Sadie Aboud goal with just over 2 minutes remaining gave Hopkins the victory in that one. It's Aboud who plays it up the right sideline to Thompson, and quickly Hopkins goes at it again. Thompson tries to feed the middle. It's loose in the circle, and the Eagles will sling it out of bounds. Back to the Blue Jays. 18 shots in that first half for Hopkins, but just the one goal. Jillian Lawrence made 9 saves in the cage for Mary Washington, the sophomore goalkeeper for the Eagles. On the other side for Hop, just 2 saves had to be made by Jody Barris on 2 Mary Washington shots. Here's Sadie Aboud, has it taken off her stick. Now a double team in the corner, though. Izzy Scholes trying to work out of it for Mary Washington, and Aboud wins it back. The freshman has it knocked away, and it'll stay with Hopkins. For Mary Washington, those 2 shots really came on their best chance of the day. Came in back-to-back opportunities, but stonewalled by Jody Barris in goal on a nice breakaway save, and then made another follow-up save. Came shortly after the Hopkins goal. Fight for possession around midfield on the far sideline. Back comes Hop. Katie Mackerleen, the senior, will try to play one into the middle, and it's scooped away. And now it's Emma Claire Stewart, the sophomore from Smithfield, Virginia. Stewart down the left side. She's got a little space to work. Trying to go one-on-one here. Will feed the middle. There's a lot of contact. And it'll stay with Mary Washington as Morgan McCartney, the junior, hit the floor. 3 goals for her last season. This one's fed in towards the middle. A little deflection, and Mary Washington has tied it up. Took a weird deflection in front of goal. Jody Barris couldn't get to it, and it's 1-1. Hopkins has dominated this game so far, but we're level with 12:47 to play in the third quarter. Really wasn't Mary Washington's best chance of the day, but it becomes their first goal, and this game is tied at 1. Keating slung that one in on goal, and it was Emma Claire Stewart who got her stick to it and deflected it in. Stewart with the first Mary Washington goal of the season, 5th of her career. She had 4 last year as a freshman. And the assist goes to the sophomore Sydney Keating. She had 2 goals and 1 assist last year. And all of a sudden, a brand new ball game. With about 27 minutes of game time left, but here's Thompson on a turnover. Tries to flick one inside. She's looking for Erickson. Erickson with a shot, but it just deflects wide. The freshman Tessa Erickson was looking for her first career goal. Trying to answer right back for Hopkins. Erickson out of Glen Ellen, Illinois. Had 92 goals in high school, set her school's record. And she gets her way inside and earns a corner for Hopkins. So Erickson, who got the start in the first game, came off the bench today. 92 goals for her at Glenbard West High School, the school record there in Illinois. She's getting close to her first collegiate goal. But Hopkins has a corner, looking to take the lead back. Burke will play it in. Swung in towards Mackerleen. She'll have a shot, and she rips it in, and Hopkins takes the lead right back. As Katie Mackerleen, but that's not going to count. Hopkins thought they had the goal, but instead I don't think that took a deflection, and she was outside the circle. She was very close there, but it's going to be no goal, and this game is still tied. Mackerleen was either looking for the deflection or trying to just dribble that one just inside the circle to get the goal. But it's waved off, and this is still 1-1. Now Hopkins going the other way with Burke. Burke has it deflected off her stick. Defending there by Meredith Lebel. Inside. Erickson now. Erickson turns, and this one is going to count for Hopkins. And the Blue Jays take a 2-1 lead as they quickly take the advantage right back after the Eagles had evened this thing at 1. Tessa Erickson was right there, and Erickson made that nice little move, and Tessa Erickson gets her first career goal for the freshman out of Glen Ellen, Illinois. And one of the best goal scorers in her school, in her area in Illinois. And she starts it off in her second college game. She gets her first goal.
Scored by number 10, Izzy Thompson, assisted by number 2, Tessa Erickson. Time to goal, 10:52.
Now, Izzy Thompson's going to be given the goal. She must have gotten a late deflection, but either way, Erickson will get the assist, and she really made that play happen. So Thompson gets her second. Erickson gets her first assist, and it's 2-1 Hop. 2 goals for Izzy Thompson today after 13 last season. This one slung in front, and again, Thompson was looking for the hat trick. Couldn't get a touch. But they'll say there was a deflection, and it'll stay with the Blue Jays. Another rip inside. It's knocked down. Loose in front now. Erickson tries to swing one on goal. Lawrence still fighting for it. And it's backed out by Thompson. We'll give it to Burke. Burke will try one. That's loose. And finally, it goes back to the Eagles. Two to 1 Hopkins here. Just over 9 minutes to play in the third quarter. Turnover there. And Hop has it. Sarah Mattias. Play one towards the circle, looking for Thompson. Swept away. Only as far as Corvey. Corvey will have a rip. It's deflected wide. Hopkins energized by that second goal. They thought they had it with Mackerleen. It was waved off. Now Erickson one more time, looking for a boot. It's Thompson instead gets a touch to it, but couldn't get the full part of the stick on it and just deflects wide. Of course, Tessa Erickson put one on goal. Thompson deflected it home. And Hopkins took a 2-1 lead here early in this third quarter. And now the goalkeeper, Jillian Lawrence. Maybe a little bit of a equipment malfunction here. She's taken off some of the pads and readjusted. And now she's got the mask back on, so she now looks ready to go. And the Eagles will get the go-ahead. Maddie Brown-Shear subs in for Hopkins. And the Blue Jays get it back. And that shot goes just wide. Again, it was Corvey looking for the goal. 25 shots now for the Blue Jays. Just 3 for the Eagles. Corvey to Burke. And back to Corvey. But she used her body too much to create some space, and the whistle gives it back to the Eagles. Pass is knocked down, and Hopkins will take it back. Seema Sudjan now. Up to Corvey. And it's ripped away. Meredith LaBelle, the senior from Gloucester, Virginia, just plays it across the line. And now Abood, who tried to run that one down and keep it in play, couldn't do so. And Mary Washington has it back. Hopkins ranked number 5 in the country in the preseason poll. Looking to get to 2-0 on this early season. And they'll be back in action right here next Friday at Homewood Field. Mary Washington with Lauren Hopkins looking to tie things up. And that drive finds no one. And it's back to Hop. Hopkins at home on Friday against Randolph-Macon. That's our next broadcast here on Hop TV, as they hope that game will try and get them to 3-0 on the season. Double team on the sideline. Hopkins wins it back. Here's Corvey. She's got space on the left side. She's going to get it there. Now it's swept in front towards Bryn Rowland, but a whistle blows and it's back to the Eagles. Hopkins again dominating the possession here in this second half, but they've conceded a goal for the second time this season. Now Seema Sudjan. Hopkins with numbers here. Sudjan up the field, plays to her left. Nice cut in front. It's swung into the middle and deflected out of play. Another chance there for Hop, as it was Sienna Urbanski, the freshman. She couldn't get her stick to it in time. Now the Eagles looking for something. They might have a break on here. Nice move by Urcia, and she wins it back quickly. Now it's Dixon inside, but she whiffs on the pass. Lexi Dixon was in a dangerous position there, but her stick just went right over top of the ball there, trying to feed it back towards the middle. And Hopkins catches a break. 2-1 Hop, less than 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Again, the new NCAA rules, it's 4 15-minute quarters. Of course, in the past, it was 2 35-minute halves. As Rowland hits the deck, and a card's going to come out against Morgan McCartney, the junior. She was the goal scorer last year for Mary Washington in their 3-1 loss to Hopkins last September. And McCartney will have to come off, shown the green card, and Hopkins will be a player up. See if Hopkins can take advantage of this advantage, as Rowland will bring it up, and now she's dispossessed, and the whistle gives it back to the Eagles. Meredith LaBelle, and it goes the other way. Bella Urcia with too much contact. Now Corvey. Michaela Corvey into the circle. Corvey will try a shot, tries to loop one into the top of the cage, but it's over top of the goal, as Lawrence in goal watched it sail over top. And it remains just 2-1. Hopkins making a substitution. Bailey Schwab, the sophomore from Highland, Maryland, is in. And Sarah Mattias is out. Schwab, the only Maryland native on this Hopkins team. Now a break for Hop. Got numbers here. Corvey has it stolen. But now possession for Berman. And Berman has it taken away. The Eagles looking for a breakaway. Could have a 4-on-4 here. Dixon will drive one towards the middle, but it's a little too strong for Emma Claire Stewart. And it'll go back to the Blue Jays. It's a nice idea there from the senior Lexi Dixon, who's been an all-conference performer in the Capital Athletic Conference. Every year she's been at Mary Washington, now a senior. Every year she's been second team all-conference. She had 1 goal last year, 6 goals as a sophomore, and 9 goals as a freshman. So she's played a little bit of a different role in the Mary Washington offense every year, but still been a good contributor. Did have 5 assists last year. That was a career high for her. Late in the third quarter, 2-1. Hopkins has the lead. It's Bryn Rowland, the sophomore from Branchburg, New Jersey. Dispossessed for a moment, but now Danica Berman looking to retreat defensively. It's Lexi Dixon. Dixon into the circle, will drive one in front. Nobody home for Mary Washington. Lauren Hopkins, the senior forward, was the closest, but it'll go out, and the Blue Jays have possession. Schwab loses it. McCartney back in after that green card. She will restart the Eagles offense, but she turns it over. Mackerline will play it up the field. Potential 2-on-2 here for Hopkins. Dispossessed for a moment, but Corvey takes it. And the whistle blows. And we might see another card here, and we will. Second green card, or excuse me, that's going to be a yellow card issued to Jackie Smith, the junior defender out of New Jersey. And Hopkins will be a player up again with 1:16 to play in this third quarter. Fed inside. Abate has it on a deflection. She's able to keep it in bounds. Floats it towards the middle, and it's knocked away for a moment. Danica Berman tried to race it down. And the whistle blows. Under a minute to go in this third quarter. Hop with a 2-1 lead. Each team has scored in the quarter. Eagles got one to tie it. Hopkins answered quickly to take the lead back. Now Hopkins looking to defend a bit here and keep this lead through 3. But they'll win the possession back. Taken away at midfield for a moment. Now it's Berman. And now all the way up the field for Urbanski. Urbanski has space. She's got numbers, but she has it taken away. Good defending from Meredith LaBelle. 15 seconds in the quarter. See what Jane Wells wants her team to do here. Maybe one chance for the Eagles now with 5 seconds on the clock. And they'll just dribble it out on the sideline. That will end the third quarter here from Homewood Field. Hopkins has dominated the statistical categories. 25 shots for Hopkins in this one, but just 2 goals to show for it. The Eagles tied things up early in the quarter, but Hopkins gets the lead back on Izzy Thompson's second goal of the day. 15 minutes to play. Hopkins looking to hold on to this 2-1 lead when we come back on Hop TV. The fifth-ranked Blue Jays are 15 minutes away from a 2-0 start to this 2019 season as Hopkins leads it 2-1 here against Mary Washington at Homewood Field. One goal in the first half for Izzy Thompson made it 1-0, but a response early in the third quarter from Mary Washington tied this game at 1 as Emma Claire Stewart got her first goal of the season. But Thompson responded on deflection from a Tessa Erickson pass, made it 2-1 Hop, and that's where we stand as we head to the fourth quarter. Hopkins in the blue will start with possession as Erickson plays it back. We'll see how aggressive Hopkins gets if this continues to be just a one-goal game late in the quarter. Sadia Bood on the right side. Remember, she assisted on the first goal, scored the second goal in Hopkins' 2-1 win over Washington Lee on Friday. She's been involved today, but no goals or assists for her so far. Corvey and Erickson have the assists, and Thompson has both goals for Hopkins. That one will run out of play, and Mary Washington has it back. Hopkins still with a player up for 3 more minutes after a yellow card was shown to Jackie Smith late in the third quarter. That's something Hopkins can take advantage of until at least around the 11-minute mark. Pass gets through 4 or 5 people, and finally Mackerleen picks it up. Gives it up to Burke now. Abby Burke into the circle on the right side, and she earns a corner for Hopkins. So that'll stop the clock with 13:46 to play. And the first corner of the fourth quarter goes to the Blue Jays. Burke will take it. Looks like Mackerleen, Sudgen, and Granado all in position. Erickson on the far side as well. Burke sends it into Mackerleen. Mackerleen into the circle, rips one. It's deflected off a stick. Still loose though. Played in front now. In the front of the goal, a lot of space for Erickson. Erickson has it blocked again. Still loose. They're still fighting for it. And finally the whistle blows and it goes to the Eagles. Val Henderson had a good look. Erickson had a good look. But nobody could get one even to the goalie, Jillian Lawrence, who has 10 saves in the game. Under 2 minutes left on the penalty as the Eagles survive that push from Hopkins. Seema Sudgen plays it back, and now it's up to Mackerleen. Mackerleen flips one in front. A drive from there is deflected loose, and it's kicked away by Lawrence. Another good opportunity for Hopkins. 29 shots now for the Blue Jays. That one's whipped up the field. And the Hopkins defensive line will take it back. It's Avery Seward back there. Her pass, though, picked off by Lauren Hopkins. Now back the other way. Hop with some numbers. Pass is stolen, though. Sammy Ferris got to it there. 12 minutes left in this one. Hopkins looking to pick up the win by the same scoreline they did on Friday. Mackerleen now fighting for possession. Stewart takes it away. Some back and forth play on the near sideline. And the whistle blows. It'll go to Mary Washington. Just 10 seconds left on that penalty. Jackie Smith, the junior defender, ready to check back in. The first is Tessa Erickson. She makes a move. Erickson into the circle. And the whistle blows. Another corner for Johns Hopkins. Luckily for the Eagles, here comes Smith back into the game. So her card time is up. Hopkins was not able to score in that time, and Smith, one of the veteran leaders on this Mary Washington defense, will be back in there for this penalty corner. 8th corner of the day for Hopkins, as Abby Burke will take it. Lots of options up top. Burke will swing it up to Mackerleen. She'll have a shot. It's blocked in front. Hopkins gets it back, though. It's Val Henderson has it ripped off her stick. Swung up only as far as Bailey Schwab. Plays one towards the middle. Sadie Aboud now. And Aboud loses it out of bounds. It was shielded by Meredith LaBelle. Just over 10 minutes to play in this one. Hopkins clinging to that 2-1 lead. They've had many chances to get more than 2, but Mary Washington goalkeeper Jillian Lawrence has kept the Eagles in this game. That one stolen on the sideline, though. Katie Mackerleen, the senior from Pennsylvania, will feed one up for Erickson. She just couldn't get to it at the last moment. But she takes it back. Now the freshman Erickson plays it into the middle. Right on goal. Here's Henderson. Has it poked away initially. And it will go back to the Eagles. A smart, aggressive play there by Jillian Lawrence, the goalkeeper. Really snuffed a great opportunity for the junior Val Henderson. So it remains 2-1. Bryn Rowland into the game, deflects one up the field, and now has possession. Rowland looking to pass one in towards the circle. It's Burke. Burke feeds it off now for Granado. And it will go out of play. Now just 9 minutes to play in this one. Hopkins looking for that 3rd goal to pull away by 2 so they can feel a lot better about their spot in this game. Dominated possession, dominated shots. They've got 30 of them. Mary Washington has just 3. But 12 saves for Jillian Lawrence in goal for the Eagles. That's really been the story of this one. Rowland takes a shot. It's deflected in front. Henderson tried, and her shot goes wide. Val Henderson, who had 1 goal last season and 2 goals back in 2017, almost had her first of her junior year right there. Rowland able to keep it in, makes a nice move to the inside, and Burke takes it off her stick. Abby Burke now. Looking for Henderson. She'll keep it in, makes a nice move. Henderson feeds in front, and it's deflected wide. Henderson was a little quiet in the first half, but she's taken over the offense here in this 4th quarter. It's Sophie Kim looking for space. And the whistle blows and it stays with Hopkins. It's Kim into the circle. She'll drive one inside off the foot of Izzy Scholes there. And a corner for Hopkins. It will be the 9th corner for the Blue Jays today. $7:39 to play in this one. Another good shot to extend this lead. Seema Sudjan will take the corner. She's got Burke up top, along with Rowland and Erickson. Swings it in. It's Tessa Erickson. Plays it over to Burke. Burke backs her way in, and she used the body a bit too much, says the referee. And it goes back over to the Eagles. It's got to be getting a little frustrating on that Hopkins sideline for head coach Jane Wells in her 3rd season. So many chances for Hopkins, 32 shots, all the possession, and still just 2 goals. Another chance here, and another corner coming up. 10th of the day for the team in blue. So with 7:06 on the clock, Hopkins will get another chance here. Again, same alignment up top, Erickson, Burke, and Bryn Rowland. It's Erickson again. She'll shoot this one. It's deflected near the cage. Seema Sujin was right there, and she knocked it wide. So the possession again stays with Hopkins. I mean, it's been about 3 minutes since Mary Washington really even had the ball at all, let alone had any attacking chances. And this will be a turnover, though. See if the Eagles can come up with something. Izzy Scholes stopped going the other way. Charlottesville, Virginia native. Now a pass knocked down, and now Hopkins may have some numbers here. But a nice play by McCartney. Morgan McCartney plays it to the opposite side for Lexi Dixon. Dixon brings it down the right sideline. Waiting for some numbers from her teammates, and the whistle blows. It'll stay with the Eagles under 6 to play. Dixon looking to get inside the circle. Tries a spin move, deflects it, gets it back inside to Hopkins. Lauren Hopkins flips it towards the goal. The ball's loose in front, and a corner for Mary Washington. Jody Barris had to get down to get that one. She kept it out of the goal. But a chance here for the Eagles. Just the second penalty corner for Mary Washington in this one. Comes with 5:37 to play. Their team trailing by just 1 goal. It's Jess Smith who will take the corner. She's got Hopkins up there, along with Jackie Smith and Dixon as well. It goes all the way through to Dixon. She plays to Hopkins. Now Smith drives one, deflected, still loose in front. Jess Smith has it. Looking for Lauren Hopkins. She has it in the circle. There's a fight for it. And the Blue Jays come away with it momentarily. But it's Thompson now. And Thompson will win it for Hop with 5 minutes to play. Izzy Thompson putting in work defensively. She's got both goals today for Johns Hopkins. Sophomore out of Carrollton, Texas, who set the Hopkins goal-scoring record last season with 13 goals as a freshman. Led this team in scoring and so far is doing it again early this year. Sophie Kim had that pass hop over her stick. She's got to chase it down in the corner. Does a nice job to corral it momentarily and will keep possession. It was a nice little run by the Eagles to get a couple shots, but still couldn't get that equalizing goal. Sarah Mattias able to keep it in, keep possession. Turnover now. It's Urcia. Sujin takes it right back. Seema Sujin up to Bryn Rowland. Rowland will switch the fields now. And Hopkins on the break now with Izzy Thompson. Thompson's got some options. She strings one through into the circle. It's loose in front, played across the goal mouth, and Hop will run it down. Rowland again. Cuts it back towards the middle and has it taken away. 3.5 to play in the game. Still a 1-goal lead for the Blue Jays. And that's an errant pass there, as Myra Granado has it. Goal in the second quarter for Hopkins. And each team scored in the third quarter. That's where we stand. Now Megan Abate, the sophomore from Summit, New Jersey, back into the game. She'll keep the possession for her team as the clock ticks under 3 minutes to play. And again, another whistle goes the way of Hop. Kayla Corvey is set to check back in soon for Hopkins. Sophie Kim now, the senior from Lansdale, Pennsylvania, has it taken off her stick, and the Eagles have it. Again, they try to break away, but just another errant pass, and Avery Seward has it. Some back and forth possession here as Sammy Ferris tries to drive one up the sideline. Now it's Dixon. Dixon cutting it back to the middle as Corvey does check in for Hopkins. It's over to Meredith LaBelle. Now McCartney has it taken away. Corvey up the right side. Under 2 minutes to play now. That pass is going to go out of play. And we'll go to Hopkins. So we'll see what they can do. Have the opportunity with this spot on the field to try and run it into the corner. Instead, they'll play it towards the goal, and it deflects just wide as Lawrence had her post covered there. And 90 seconds to go here for Hopkins to hold on to this 2-1 lead. Flip softly up the field. Abate almost took it away. The Eagles need to push this one up the turf here. They'll try to do so with one swing. And it's all the way back to Kim. Seema Sujin now.
1 minute to go in the fourth period.
Under a minute to play in this one. 2-1, Hop has the lead. See if they'll control this one into the corner and try and get the rest of this clock down to 0. Into the circle now. Brown Shear has it. Brown Shear towards the goal, makes a nice move, flips it in front. It's loose. Eagles get it away for the moment and now do clear it, but there's just 35 seconds to play. And Hopkins can play into the back here. Not a lot of pressure from Mary Washington. And that drive's going to go all the way towards the corner, and that's going to work out just fine for Hopkins. So it should be enough to just run that clock all the way down. Mackerleen will take her time on the restart here with under 10 seconds to play. She'll dribble into the corner. And that's going to do it from Homewood Field. The 5th-ranked Johns Hopkins Blue Jays improved to 2-0 on the season with a 2-1 victory over the Mary Washington Eagles. Hopkins really dominated all the possession, all the shots in this one. 35 shots for the Blue Jays. They had the ball most of the time, but only win it 2-1. The initial goal came in the second period. Izzy Thompson got it on a deflection from a Michaela Corvey shot. But then in the third quarter after halftime, the Eagles got their goal. Emma Claire Stewart on a kind of a weird deflection in front of the net made it 1-1. But Hopkins struck right back as Tessa Erickson got the assist on Izzy Thompson's second goal of the day. And Hopkins took a 2-1 lead, really dominated the possession, had the ball for most of that fourth quarter, and go on to win it 2-1. Back-to-back 2-1 wins for Hopkins, and the Blue Jays are now 2-0 on the season. So that's it for this one. Hopkins wins it 2-1. Next up for this Hopkins field hockey team, they will be back in action right here at Homewood Field on Friday night. That is September 6th, and that is our next broadcast here on Hop TV as the Blue Jays take on Randolph-Macon at 7 p.m. at Homewood Field. So make sure you join us back here at 7 o'clock on Friday night as Hopkins looks to get to 3-0 on the season against Randolph-Macon. So one more time for my producer Matt Lawrence and our entire Hop TV crew, I'm Connor Newcomb signing off for now from Homewood Field. The Blue Jays win it 2-1 over Mary Washington and improve to 2-0 on this young field hockey season. We thank you so much for watching and hope you join us next time on Hop TV.